back to Comics and Collectibles Convo. I am your host, Dr. Fidgetal, as well as my famous co-host, Callie Comics. How are you, Callie?
Well, I'm better now that been known as a famous co-host. That's
Yeah, brother. Come on,
oh
man. You're famous now with all those collectibles that you have in those special mints.
yeah, but I think probably what you're going to show in today's show at some point is going to make me less famous than you, I'd say. So yeah, no, all good, mate. As I was saying, our clocks have gone forward here in the UK, so that doesn't do good for the whole sleeping patterns. And I've been getting up early and getting back into a schedule, but I couldn't miss this one, so I'm here.
Well, we are glad to have you here as always. We like to have great conversation, guys. We have some special guests, a group of special guests that we are interested in bringing on here. But before we do that, one thing that I do want to do is mention our sponsor, which is DGC. And if you are interested in getting your collectibles graded on VV, whether it be your comics or your collectibles, I do encourage you to go to the website. I'm going to play a quick video, and then after that, we'll introduce our special guests and bring them on in. So let's play this video. All right, excellent. And today we have a group of special guests that are very famous in the VV community as they do great content several times a week, and they are the faces of TRU Media. So it is my pleasure to bring on Dee, Hanano, and Raven. And FYI, Raven she just received her award for being in the 100 Club. So help me introduce and welcome on the TRU Media Group.
What's up, guys?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, and one more to go.
Where's the bird at?
I feel all
She's
fancy.
she's flying in
just
from
wants
the
to go.
north, so it'll take a while. Oh, there
There
she
we
is.
go.
It's
I
that
was like, I
wind in
didn't touch
Canada.
anything, I swear.
Yeah, no, for some odd reason, Raven, it did not want me to bring you up just that soon. Maybe it's because you're so special. Maybe that's
Oh,
what it is.
yes.
You have to
Okay,
have your own
I'll take that
interests.
answer.
So how are you guys today?
Good.
Good.
Doing good, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us,
Excellent.
guys. It's an honor to be here.
Man, we are so excited to have you guys. You guys do such awesome shows. So to have you on our show is just a great privilege. Obviously, to get to know you guys, I was actually chatting with Raven and sharing with her. She was like, "Have you met them in real life?" I was like, "I was at the party with them, but I was too shy to speak to them." Right. So
No.
next time though, I definitely will be speaking with you guys. I got a chance to hug Big Bro. I mean, who can't hug Big Bro? When I seen him, he was just, he's just a
Best
lovable guy.
hugs.
But I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So excellent. So today we're just going to have some general conversation in regards to your journeys, people getting to know you, and then kind of talk about the collectible space and share some fun insights. And hold on one second. I have one other guest joining. The
Cody
man
Bing.
himself.
What's
There he
up,
is.
guys? How
What's
you
up,
doing?
bro?
Big
How-
bro.
Good, guys. How are you?
We are good. We weren't for sure if you were going to make it in time because we knew that you were at the party yesterday. So how was the
Yeah.
party?
Man, the party was awesome, man. It's always good to hang out with fellow collectors, seeing old faces that you see from conventions past, and then getting to know the new people that came in and welcoming them in with open arms and stuff like that. So it was a really cool turnout. About, I would say, 14, 15 of us. Yeah, we had a good time at Dave and Buster's. Just sitting there, um, swapping stories about like mints and not getting the drops you want and getting sometimes landing the ones you have and realize.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Might have
fell
lost him to
asleep.
the
Oh
Hello.
blockchain.
no.
No,
Maybe
Did
I
he
got
go?
a phone call. I got a
Oh,
phone
okay.
call. Sorry.
Do they not know you're busy? You're on a very important call
Right?
right
Raven,
now.
stop calling him.
How
Jeez.
rude.
Jeez. No. I was just saying it was just really fun, just swapping stories about like just different things that we all kind of like, we have in common being VV collectors and showing off your stuff and we did trivia and everything. So it was really fun, man. I had a really good time last night.
Yeah, and who won the trivia? Who was that?
That would be the biggest bro.
What?
Sometimes you gotta let people know that like I'm not
You
one
don't
of the
mess
Google
around.
people. Like I don't Google. Like all this useless knowledge is in this brain.
Well, excellent, excellent. And thank you guys for joining. We got Slider here, obviously. We
Sup,
got
Slider?
Slider.
this Sean Solo. We Mr.
Sean.
Champ in the building. Shout out to you, Mr. Champ.
is here.
Appreciate you coming in. And of course, it's always a good time when Scotchy is here. So thank you everyone for
Scotchy,
tuning in
nice.
for great conversation with us. And let's get started, guys, with just kind of, I know that we have a group of great people here. And what I want to do is, for those who don't know you, because obviously I have a newer channel with a different base at, since I do collect physical and digital. So if you wouldn't mind kind of introducing yourself and kind of how you found VV and, in your journey so far. So I'll tell you what, we're going to start at the top. Biggest bro, you were the last person talking. So we'll start with you, my friend.
Man, so I found VV through it's a long story, but basically in the same week I learned what NFTs were. I found VV the next day because when I was having a conversation with my friend, he was telling me and trying to get me to understand what NFTs were and all that stuff, right? And in my head, I was like, okay, I get it. But I was like, so what happens when Disney releases theirs? Like when you don't need like hype, when it's just Mickey Mouse and everybody wants Mickey Mouse. And then the very next day, I was talking to my friend at work about it. He was like, have you ever heard of Vivi? And I go, what's that? And he was like, here, look at the Spider-Man. It's $6,000. I was like, wait, what? But like in my head, I was like, this is exactly what I thought it would be. Like, yeah, like, of course it's that much money because it's Spider-Man. And if you are like one of the first people to own a first public Spider-Man, that makes sense to me. So that's why I came into VV. My first drop was the Mighty Marvel's Eternals drop. So,
Okay.
but the first collectible I collected was Captain America Steve Rogers Mighty. That was my first one that I got on the app, and I was like, all right, I'm in. And then ever since then, here I am.
Okay.
Still hit that buy now button, baby.
And how is that working for you, by the way?
Not well, but I keep going. I just keep believing in myself, and that's what you get, right?
Yeah, I was talking with Raven about that. It's like at this point you're just kind of like sucked in. It's like, I don't think I'm gonna slow down after I purchase this one thing, and then next thing you know, you're just back in the rabbit hole, buying again. And just FYI, Callie does not help my cause, because anytime that I want to slow down, then he shows me something awesome that he just bought, and I'm like, oh, but I just saw this on the actual market and I probably should grab it as well. So
yeah, but it's a vicious cycle because you show me something, I'll go and buy it. So we just we need some help.
Yes. Hello, my name is Montel, and I'm an addict. So there's that. So Hineno, let's go with you next. Kind of share your journey with us.
Well, it sounds like we're all kind of in the same boat in terms of, we're older, we have some expendable cash, and we're reliving our youth, if you know what I mean. So, and I love it. How did I find VV? I was actually looking for alternative investments. I actually came from equities market. So I was
Okay.
looking, and I wasn't trying to get into OMI or nothing like that. I didn't know anything about OMI. I just wanted to get into NFTs. So my chiropractor actually got me into NFTs. My first NFT that I picked up was a AMC Golden popcorn bucket, just to kind of get myself into the ecosystem. But
Okay.
when he was trying to teach me how to do like MetaMask and buying ETH and gas transactions, it confused the crap out of me. I'm like, what am I doing? And so then I really just went online and said, easy to buy NFTs, and Vivi pops up. And I'm like, okay,
Fair
what is
enough.
this? And I read an article about Marvel Comics, and then you saw all your IPs, and that's kind of when it really kind of gets to you. I'm like, oh, I know all these cool things. I know what a DeLorean is, right? So download the app. It took me like a few weeks to actually purchase something. I think my first drop I attempted to go for was the Voltron drop back in December of 2022, I think.
Okay.
I didn't land it because I didn't get to the drop on time, because back in the day, if you didn't get there right when the drop happened, you lose it. And so you learn
Okay.
all that. I think the first comic I purchased was Astonishing X-Men #1. Shout out to Vivian3 for giving me the breakdown on that information. But that's really what kind of spiraled me back into collecting. Was once I collected these digital comics, I knew what they were. I knew what the value proposition and what we were doing in here. Um, that got me back into collecting. I've been a collector since the 90s when Image first came out. I collected a bunch of Image comics. And that's kind of so it's familiar to me. I started collecting, got my wife into collecting, got my daughter. My daughter now writes books, anime. She's not in the
Nice.
comics anymore, but like if it wasn't for the comic book stuff, she would have never gotten anime. And now she's teaching me stuff like One Piece. So that's kind of my crazy fast journey on how I got in this space.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Thank you for sharing, Hanano. And
Yeah.
Miss D, we'll have you go next.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I got into collecting like more recently, yeah, from my husband, the real Hinano. He forced me to get the VB app. Well, not really forced, but he's like, "Hey, check this out. There's these cool things. There's Spider-Man and Batman." Because I'm a huge DC fan, more so than Marvel. Just because growing up, my older brother, he had all the cool Batman collectibles, the cool cars, and all the cool comics and stuff, but I couldn't get some. So I used to sneak around and play with all his collectibles and action figures. And he was a huge Batman fan. And so, I was like, I really loved the fandom. I loved Wonder Woman. She's my favorite. And so when Hinano showed me the Vivi app, he's like, just download it and go and get something and start collecting. I'm like, this is like, when NFTs was like a brand new thing to me. So I was like, are you sure they're just like not scamming you? Like, you don't know these people, you don't know what we're actually doing. They're just gonna take your money and run. And yeah, we shouldn't like invest anything in it. And so I downloaded the app anyway, and I didn't do anything with it for a while. And then I believe he got something and he showed me, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So then I went back on the app, and I think this was in December of 2021, and I forgot I don't think I landed anything either. I suck at I can push the buy now button, but I either land comments or I just don't land it at all. But I do remember the first thing I did pick up was, and I always forget this comic, Hinano, the one that's in your BB verse with the Wolverine's claws on the top of the cover.
Oh, Astonishing X-Men
Astonishing.
#1.
Yeah, that one. I thought that was really cool. And then, so that was the first like comic I bought on the app. um and I tried my best to go for every single drop that happened, but of course I didn't land it. You know how it used to be in trying to get a lander drop with all the tips and tricks that people used to do, and putting your phones in the fridge from overheating, and turning off everyone's wi-fi except yours, and all the crazy stuff we used to do. Um and so I mean that became really fun. But even though I didn't land a lot of stuff, it was just nice to like be in the moment with everybody and just have like that a level of excitement and I guess hype. And so that kind of like brought me back into like wanting to collect physically. And so from there, Hinano took us to like the comic shops, and then of course we had to match the physical with the digital, right? And so he's like, yeah, let's check it out. So one short box ended up turning into like massive amounts of short boxes behind Hinano in his office. So
There's 20
yeah,
behind me.
yeah, there's
So
20, and then there's more in other places in the house.
it's bad.
So
It's so bad.
yeah. But basically that's what got me back to collecting as an adult. So thank you, Hinano, and thank you to your chiropractor, who is a really good friend of ours in real life.
Okay, good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. And Miss Raven, last but not least.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I was not a collector. Before BB, I was a completely different person. So I guess there's before BB and after BB. I would say for me, the chain of events started in August of 2020 when a friend told us about Bitcoin. And we started investing in Bitcoin. And those were the days where just every day you were making money. Like it was just up and up and up. And I was like, what is this? This is magic. And just from that process, I really kind of dove into understanding the technology and what it was all about. And through that, I found Omi. And then that led me to the BB app, where I downloaded actually yesterday, 5 years ago, March 27th. I downloaded the app, looked at it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. There's nothing in here. I'll just buy some Omi and leave it for the rest of everyone can just buy the stuff in here. Like it was all DC stuff. And this wasn't my world. So I didn't have any concept of it. And then months went by, and it was when they announced Spider-Man, the first Marvel Spider-Man drop. I'm like, ooh, okay, that's good. I got to get in on this. So I logged back into the app, and okay, I'm still kicking myself for this. But again, I didn't know any better. So you had the common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. And I think the secret rare was like $300, something like that. And I'm like, why would I spend $300 on a secret rare when I could get a common, an uncommon, and a rare? I could have 3 instead of 1. So that's what I did, of course, because I didn't know any better. Because I could have easily got the secret rare. And kicking myself that I didn't do that. But yeah, from that day, I don't think I missed a drop for a long time, like years. Like I went for everything. And it was exciting. It was fun when the kids got to be involved, because I remember Disney Week was my favorite week of all time. Because I think the kids were home that day, and I may have on 1 or 2 occasions had my kids skip school to help me go for drops. But I just remember it. Yeah. I remember that week was just chaos, because like sometimes things didn't go well and it hadn't dropped and everybody's sitting there waiting, but then all of a sudden we all started hitting and everybody was handing me iPads and phones and trying to load up gems, and so we did pretty good, other than we never hit the partner statue. But yeah, since then, like to think that was 5 years ago just blows my mind. And then fast forward to now, I'm collecting a lot. I'm collecting more physical stuff. This morning we're at the comic book store, picked up a stack of comics. I'm reading comic books now. So yeah, my world has changed, and I owe it to BB. So.
And that's the amazing thing about VV, right? Is it's brought a lot of us into a different world. Engaging with people from all over, and sharing our stories. I mean, I always tell people, Daniel and I, even though he's been busy lately, I probably talk to Daniel more than I talk to most people in real life. Through chatting and that, and just kind of discussing meds and family and that. So it's one of the things that I really love about this platform, right? Mm-hmm. But another thing I love about this platform is so many people have broken off into doing great content like TRU Media Group, right? So one of the things that I do want to touch on, just FYI, once we talk about this, is going to be Omi and VV Versa. A few things that can be controversial depending on, how you view them. But I do want to talk about TRU Media. How did you guys get started, and kind of walk through your shows and when they are, for those who don't know about it, and how can they log in and tune in to watch some of your shows, because they're awesome.
there's four of us. Which one do you want to answer that question?
I'll leave it up to you guys because
Go
sometimes
ahead,
you're like, this
Hinano.
is our main talker here. So I'll leave it up to you guys.
That would
Oh,
be
because
Hanano.
once
Yeah,
you
go
get me
ahead.
starting, man, you can't turn me off. So, I'll try to keep it very short because everyone in True Media knows I can go forever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, D and I started a podcast 3 years ago, right? And we started it under the guise of having so much fun at DCon 2022. We wanted to continue the conversation. That's why what you and Daniel are doing is very reminiscent of what we started 3 years ago in terms of wanting to have these conversations with everybody and really just wanting to talk about your passions. Because if you go into the real world, you can't talk about digital collecting with a lot of people because either you get shunned or they just have no idea what we're doing here. Your children know, but a lot of the populace doesn't. So we started that. It was a lot of fun, guys. And DNI has never done anything like this before in terms of talking, starting a podcast. Shout out to the OG creators because they were big inspirations to us, like Rob's stuff, My Collectibles, and Joe and Rob, Superstar Money.
Mm-hmm.
They were big supporters that kind of pushed our channel because we were going to give up. So we had 1 year where we just did recordings, and then we decided to try live streams. And D and I got so hooked on the live streams that we had a lot of fun that we started getting an audience. We started getting followers. People started coming to our shows, like Raven and the Biggest Bro. And what we didn't know, D and I at the time, is Big Bro. He pretty much he was our first employee. We didn't know. He just started working for us, and he never left. And so fast forward now we're True Media, right? We became True Media last year. We dissolved the Real Uncommon podcast, and we had supporters, we had fans, and Raven really was one of our number one fans. She was the first to always
Mm-hmm.
support us, always there first in the chats, always supporting. Big Bro was either on the panel with us or in there, also Fro. And so for D and I, when we wanted to try something different, we wanted to bring in people that we not only trusted, but that really supported us. Because why not bring people in that really love the passions that you do? And then and I'll let D explain how we got Raven and Big Bro involved with this really initially. But long story short, we started the podcast, and then we wanted to branch out and do something a little bit different, start an entity out in Web3 where we could do live stream shows, but be a network for live streaming content. If you really go and look out in the space, nobody is doing that type of, there's no entity out there where they're really trying to be a network for live streaming, UGC content. So we're trying to do the first of its kind. And I know Daniel, one of your partners, was a big inspiration to us. Shout out to Chris Evers. This was, I think, a year ago. I had a conversation with Chris, and he told me a very inspiring story about his youth and what he tried to do in the radio scene. And what he tried to do in the radio scene really mirrored what we're trying to do here at True Media. And so he really put a battery in my back to really go down this route. And a shout out to the entire team because I think within 1 hour after we explained to Raven and Big Bro what we're doing here, they were on board. I'll let them know. I'll let them explain that because it was kind of a whirlwind for them as well, because we kind of created a show and everything within 1 hour just to kind of launch it out there. And True Media was started. We started, I think, with just a handful of shows, and then just ideas started spinning. We just started like spitballing. And then we wanted to get more, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? More serious. And that's when we started reading laws. We started going down the route of actually hiring attorneys. We actually have an attorney on hand for True Media 24/7. If anybody wants to do any collaborations with us, they are above board. Shout out to Atem. He's actually an attorney that's one of our supporters that said, hey, you need to look at these legal ground standing things. And he pointed us in the direction to where now if we wanted to collaborate or do business with anybody globally, we are legal, because there are certain states or countries like the UK and Canada where there are privacy agreements that you need to actually create in order to do business or any collaborations with anybody, because these governments or these states protect the people and their data. So all of this stuff we got on board for True Media. So long story short, we started a podcast. We're now a media group. We're trying to be the very first UGC type of network, like CBS out here in the space. There's a bunch of plethora of shows that you see right here, and that's kind of like the fast version. I hope I explained it properly. D, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, that's very nicely said, Hinano. Couldn't have said it any better. So thank you for that. Yeah, so the graphic you see on the screen, yeah, that's most of our shows. We do have like mini shows in between, and the privacy agreements and all that legality stuff that Hinano was talking about is all also available on this website. So we want to make sure that we're transparent, and people don't always read the fine prints, but if you take the time, it is all there. If you want to sift through all like 100 pages of it, it's all there. And we had to deal with that and figure it out when we were starting. I'm like, I've never done this before. What are we getting ourselves into? So it took a while because we all had agreed that we wanted to be partners in this business, but before we could like announce it publicly, we wanted to make sure that we had all our ducks in a row. Haha. We what do you call it? We had our I's dotted and T's crossed, whatever the saying is, before we put ourselves out there, because we also need to protect ourselves, as well as be transparent with the public. And so that was like a very long process in just researching, reaching out to people that could help us and point us in the right direction. And in case you guys didn't know, this beautiful website was a collaborative effort, but we do have to give a big shout out to the lady that actually built this website, something she's never done before, and she got it going for us. So big shout out to Raven right down
It's
there.
still unlocked. It's
Yep.
weird. I haven't
Right,
looked at it in
Raven.
a while because I think I spent so much time on it that I didn't want to look at it anymore. But it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It came out really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, she developed it all herself, guys. And one more thing I want to add, because we are a business, but I want to talk mainly on the monetary side. We do get sponsorships and monetarily, if someone wants to sponsor us, that's a cool thing. And we really like that because it helps keep the light on, but that's not the reason why we're here. There are programs and projects we're doing that really is for community. Like we have a digital creator program where we are actually doing things with community members. We're actually making AI content with them as we speak, and you'll see those deliverables in the next month or two. We also have our affiliates program, and I'm slacking on that, guys. I'm going to try to be better at it, but that's to help smaller creators kind of push out into this space, and we help them with their production. We help them get their stuff out. Like Oz and all these guys. Like, and behind the scenes, I'm like supporting Oz as well. So we're doing all those things. So I just want people to understand, just because we say we're a business, it's not, we're not here for money. The money does help keep the lights on, but we're really here to push this space. And in any way possible to stay here, that's what we're really trying to do, is just stay here, right? So I hope people understand that messaging.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So speaking of that, tell us about just a few of your shows or some days and times that people can tune in before we jump over to the next subject, because you guys have some pretty great content, and I think that people will be amused by tuning in. Let's do biggest bro for that, because he's been quiet there.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. There you
There he is. Look at that beautiful face.
go. Safely parked my car. Yeah, we have virtual radio on Tuesdays.
You're a little soft,
You're
bro.
breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hello? Better?
Yep.
Let me switch my thing. Sorry. Hold on. My bad.
He might be
Okay,
speaking
okay.
off his meta glasses.
Yeah, he's still trying to. He's every time he goes on live.
Better?
Yep.
There
better.
we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my bad. All right, there you go. All right.
You're good.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm learning. I'm in the field. So basically, we have virtual radio on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. every Tuesday. We've been going. We made it past a year, going strong on that. And of course, one of our favorite shows that we have on in the group is Aloha Fridays. Various times during Fridays, we really try to make it really open to the guests, and we try to accommodate to their time zones and stuff like that. But every Aloha Friday, either we're interviewing somebody from the community, somebody from one of these new digital companies that really want to get their message out there, or we're just hanging out. And that's one of the really cool shows, really laid back and just it's a special show because you get to learn about the person, not just a project, right? We're not looking for alpha, we're not looking for any like tidbits about the company. We want to find out who these people are behind the project. Who are you? And that kind of lets us know and gives us a different feel about different projects. Just learning about certain people, it gives you a new insight, and then it kind of shows you how to, especially with artists, right? Some of the comic book artists that we've able to have on there, and then them describing their artwork and why, and then you see them put out stuff, and then you're like, oh, this is what he was talking about. So it's really really cool, man. So yeah, Aloha Fridays for sure is one of my favorite shows.
Excellent, excellent. And you've been doing your own drop show, which has been going great, biggest bro. So how's that
Yeah,
been
man.
for you?
Oh man, dude, I'm just there to have fun. What I try to do, I try to have the information about the drop, what my thoughts are on it. I'm trying to have, nice, good thoughts, because the thing about it is I love all these companies. I want them to succeed. And it's just my opinions on drops and stuff like that. But I just try to have fun. I love the space and how many people are out there having fun doing drop shows, and just I want to do my own, and I'm just having a good time with it. So yeah, I've been covering all the VV drops, all Elmon X drops, um, Candy when they come back, come back strong. Come on, come on, Candy. And then of course we got McFarlane in a couple. I think in about I think what is it, the 7th, April 7th, we got the drop for the Spawn. So I'm
Yep, the
very excited
seventh.
for that. Yeah, so
Excellent.
it's just having fun, man. Especially in the morning, and then you get to find out different time zones and what people are in, trying to go for the drop, and it's always fun just being in a like kind of like in a like quote unquote in a room with people, and like being able to like, oh, what'd you get? Oh, I got this. Especially, and if you haven't ever been to like a live event and gone with a drop with a group of people, it's absolutely hysterical. It's fun. Like you like, oh, you got the good one. Oh, of course I got the crappy one. Like it's just so much fun. So yeah, that's what I just like to do with the drop shows for sure.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Now I'm going to start asking you guys individual questions and kind of break it up, but I'm going to start with you, Hanano, because you guys kind of mentioned VV-verse, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on VV-verse, good and bad, and obviously talk about your space.
You're
You're
muted.
muted.
You're muted, my friend.
I'm so sorry. That's
Trying
just
to read lips here.
yeah, it's an ongoing thing with me. But anyways, VVverse to me is a very interesting product because like in reality, it's a free product to use. And I come from the Sim City realm, so a lot of people still play Sims like on Steam, I believe, still. And so that type of gameplay, that sandbox type of game, is something that really interests me. Maybe not so much anymore, just because there's a lot going on. But when they first released it, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it to a point where I love the fact there's other people doing what they're doing in the VVverse. But how I've been looking at the VVverse, and I think I've been saying this for 3 years, ever since we went on Bob Sale's channel, is the VVverse is a really cool construct for people like my kids to play in. They already understand those digital worlds. They're in it all the time. And so to present something like that to a kid that maybe starting TCG journeys on digital or collecting comics or anime, because I feel like we're going to get anime soon on VV, to give them a landing place where they can go and play around like a Roblox type of environment is a smart move. Granted, no one knows about it right now because, well, nobody really knows VV too much, right? But my daughter, she's been in it, right? I remember when we did Enter the Verse last summer, she was creating all types of constructs. So for me, it's smart to have a product like that. Maybe not right now because nobody really plays with it, but the fact that they have it, And I've said this over time, even though I have been critical to Vivi in the past, that these projects that present an experience to their community will keep their community. And Vivi's got their market. They've got their content creators like all of us. They've also got trivia, down below with Graven guys. And now we have a sim sandbox type of environment. Really go and look at any other project out there. Maybe Decentraland or Second Life is doing something like that, but not with digital collectibles. And I remember Swampy saying one thing like this when I was listening to Virtual Collects. He said, "Where can you go and play with these things in this type of environment where it's IP based, where you can play with your Batmans and your Daredevils, right? You can't." And so that type of product, that type of construct, to me is very compelling.
Okay. Now, what does your space look like that you have built in the VVverse?
Oh man. So here I got a question for you. In the
Sure.
VVverse, are you more of a person that likes to lay the collectibles down, or are you a builder?
Oh no, I lay the collectibles down. So shout out to Master Roni for building Iron Man Mansion. I am by no means that guy, but he built Iron Man Mansion, and then we then laid the collectibles down. So yeah, I'm definitely a collectibles kind of guy. I mean, and I agree with you. I do love VVverse.
Yeah.
It's fun to play, and I haven't been in there much, right? It is difficult for a person like myself to use. I just don't have the time to build like Master Roni did for me.
Yeah.
He took on that project, and he just made a beautiful masterpiece. But I do love to display my collectibles. So putting my partner statue in there, I'm looking forward to putting one of ones in there, and really just kind of showcase. So obviously my Iron Man collection is kind of like my big thing, right? So I
Yeah.
really do love what VVverse brings, but I do feel like, as you mentioned, not a lot of people know VV, but I think another barrier that's hard to kind of get past is it would be nice to be able to show someone my VVverse without them having a VV account. So to be able to show them where they can scan it and just go into my space without having to have a VV account or an invite, I think that's kind of like a big barrier for the VVverse. So while I do love the concept and paid a nice amount to have it built, but I do love walking through it every once in a while. I'll be honest with you, and I'm really hoping that it continues to progress to, as you said, to like a Roblox where it's a little bit easier to build
Yeah.
because I am by no means, I can't like put it all together and line it up symmetrically like him and Josh do. I mean, it would look like
It's not for
you know
everybody. It surely
yeah,
isn't for everybody. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if we're targeting people on the PC specifically, then it'd be really good to target people that are still playing like Sims. And we
Yeah.
yeah,
still have people that play Sims. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be really cool. Like, you do an advertisement in Steam. It's like, hey, try out this new, and don't call it like your digital showroom. Call it like a simulating game, like a building game, because you really can build in there. And so that's the type of person I am. I prefer to build and place. And so all of my
okay,
VV verses are empty. there's no collectible. Maybe like big things like big buildings, but I'm more of a builder. So I've got let's see what we got. I think I have Uncommon Island, and that was kind of supposed to be like a place for like everyone that was in our Uncommon comic book club. We've dissolved that. So that space is empty. I have a huge comic vault with maybe 5 comics in the vault, but it's a beautiful looking vault,
Yeah.
so there's that, and so there's some other stuff, but um, I hope I answered your question because I can start going way too long here, Dr. Fidgetal. So I think we should pass the
no,
baton.
no, and
Speaking
it's
of, oh,
oh, go
sorry.
ahead, D. Yeah, no, yeah,
No, I was gonna
absolutely.
say, speaking of the VBverse, how you guys are talking about getting more eyeballs. If they, because like Masteroni, Swampy, Ronnie Lido, Lexi, Cosmic, No Tactics, all those talented guys, they always have their weekly games, right? The
Mhm,
master builders games. So if there was a way
absolutely.
that Vivi could like take that and showcase it in like another huge like gaming platform, that would, I think that would get more people like at least curious to come and check out the VVverse, because they're already doing like active building and having games. People compete to win, a collectible of some kind. So if Vivi could take what they already have from their community members and showcase it, at a bigger platform, that could, help get more eyeballs.
Here's
I
a
agree with you.
question. Maybe I've not seen the Vivi socials for a little bit, but when was the last time Vivi used the word Viviverse in any post?
It's a good question, Daniel.
Yeah. So
Um,
I love the I love the Viviverse. Like
mhm,
I'm very much pro that. I don't spend much more time in it at the moment because my objective was to
mhm,
build a store and then just wait for the growth to come. But
yeah.
yeah, I think until, and this is no shade on Vivi because I appreciate they've probably got a lot of other things they're prioritizing. But I think until they maybe prioritize the Viviverse, I don't
Mhm,
think really we can expect there to be an influx of new users in there. I'll probably say like your space, Fernando, where it's empty, I think the reality is the Viviverse is probably empty of users. Like I'd be surprised if they
Oh,
have 20
100%.
people going,
mhm,
yeah, 20 people
yeah.
going there a day, which is again fine. They've brought it out, they've built it, it's there. But yeah, I think that's probably the start reality of the Viviverse at the moment.
You know what's
And
interesting though? I just want to point this out. I'm so sorry. Um, like you know how like we have like say like a staunch full of collectors, like maybe we have like a pool of 10 collectors that we know that are constantly active all the time, and they're constantly starting off things. I mean, you guys said it yourself, you guys talk about things, you guys are FOMOing and buying stuff, right? There is some interesting people in the Viviverse that are from different walks of life that we've actually met, like graphic designers and movie prop designers and gamers and even map builders. Like it just blows my mind that there are really some skillful people utilizing that product right now. And they're
Mhm,
part of that handful of just the 20 people. And we were very blessed to meet one of them, and I didn't realize one of them is actually an organization. So shout out to Omni Noir.
yeah.
That is
yes,
Yes.
it's
Mhm,
not just one person. It's like a bunch of them, and these guys are bigger than I thought they were. If you really go down the rabbit hole of who these guys are, so and that's what I'm saying. Like there are experts and developers utilizing that product, and so that kind of speaks volumes on. Even though we don't have a lot of regular users in there, the type of users that are high end are using it, and that's got to tell you something.
yeah. And Kelly, shout out to you and your comic book store in there,
Yeah.
because you have built an amazing comic collection, and then also adding in those new props. So, how are you feeling about adding in your props? And then, I'm going to have to display one of your newest grabs that I'm jealous about, just FYI. So, Kelly and I kind of do this back and forth of these grabs. So kind of tell us about your comic shop. Where would you like to see it go, Callie? And then kind of talk us through, some of the acquisitions that you've made here recently.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm in no rush with it in terms of the Viviverse kicking on. Like I believe it will have its time, and I probably pessimistically view that in maybe like 4 or 5 years potentially. But the vision, and I'm sure everyone's probably have it, is where you can go into the Viviverse from a store perspective. You can see the metadata. You can go in there and interact with the pieces. You can hit buy now, and it goes straight in via the store. So I think these things will come. I've actually started drafting the California Comics website, which will link to Stackart. It will show my listings on the website itself, so it can act like an independent e-commerce store. So these are the, I suppose, building blocks I can put up in the meantime. But yeah, I'm cool, and I'm very grateful. I know you, Hanano, mentioned him earlier. Chris Severs, he was the first ever client in there. He's my digital partner, which my wife always frowns at me when I say that term for some reason. But it's I think it's fun. That's the main thing. Anything we're doing now, and probably similar to you guys, this isn't coming from the point of financials. I have got plans in the future where it could be that, but I think right now it's just more about having fun and building the collection. And you're making me blush, Montel, with this piece as well, because Predator, me and Osman, Aliens and Predator, it flip flops in our 1 and 2 of greatest all time, and I couldn't, yeah, not go for this with the 87 being obviously 1987 release year.
Excellent, excellent. Now, quick question. Raven and I talked in regards to if she's a mint hunter or not. What about you, D, Hanano, Biggest Bro? Are you guys mint hunters, or do you guys just enjoy just the art of collecting? I'll start with you, D.
For me, I had this grand idea of collecting certain numbers when I first started and got to know what mint numbers were all about. So one of them was 87 because that is my birth year. Or like different like the area code for Hawaii is 808. So I was like also looking at that. And then just like random numbers that mean something to me, like depending on someone's birth date from my family. But then I'm like, those are so like low numbers that I probably won't get them. And this is when we had the 5 digit, the addition sizes of stuff was like in the 5 digits. So I had a better chance, but the numbers that I was looking at were like really low, or someone else that had more gems than me, like obviously was going for. 'Em. Like, what? Like, why are you like even from Hawaii? Like, why are you collecting 808 or this other number? But so then after a while, I'm like, if I can't find it, and if I don't land it, obviously I'm not gonna land it. Then I'm just gonna go for whatever I happen to land on. That's just what I'm gonna take. And it just got to be like too much to even try and get those actual numbers. So I just don't go for certain numbers anymore. But I do love seeing like what Chris Severs and other mint hunters, they when they find it, and then they kind of give like a little blurb of why that number is significant, maybe in the historical reference of the comic or the collectible, or if it's something that meant something to them personally. I love seeing that. So for me, no, I'm not a mint hunter, but I love seeing what people find and why it means something to them. Yeah.
Follow-up question for you, D, really quick. What is the
Yes.
first collectible that when you bought it, you were like, this is it for me. This fits who I am.
Oh, that's a tough one. That fits who I am. Oh, that's a hard one. There's been a couple that mean like that have like really special meanings to me, and maybe that can kind of answer your question.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
yeah, the we've talked about it before, the Galactica, the Battlestar Galactica ship, because that means really something really special for Hinano and I, because that's a show that he got me into watching when we started dating and stuff. And love that whole franchise. Another one is what do you call it, Wonder Woman. I finally got both Wonder Womans. um n- Not, no offense on BB, but there are better looking Wonder Womans on other platforms. But if we're talking specifically about BB, I'm really happy I got my two Wonder Womans on that, because she is my like most favorite superhero in all the world. And she's just really badass. Um, and then another one I want to say is Moon Knight. I mean, that's one of my
Okay.
favorite collectibles, the ultra
Yeah,
rare.
yeah.
Um, just I didn't know too much about Moon Knight, but when the show came out, I really enjoyed the show. With what's his face, Isaac, is that his name? What is the
Yep.
actor's name
Oh,
for Moon Knight? I believe
Panano,
it's
we're gonna give that to you because
Oscar
I,
Isaac or
yeah.
something. I love the show, but I forgot the guy's name. But yeah, that dude.
Okay,
And
Oscar
so
Isaacs.
Oscar Isaacs, yes. See, I knew there was like
there we go.
it's two first names. Who does that?
Oh,
But
well,
anyway,
where's the big? I thought the biggest bro had quiz knowledge. I thought he would jump in there. He's fouling
I know,
us.
right? Maybe he's. Are you still
Is
there,
he
big
sleeping?
bro? Maybe he's sleeping.
No,
Hair of the
I'm here.
dog.
Wait, no,
Yeah, he's
I'm
probably
not sleeping.
sleeping. Oh, he woke up.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying, biggest bro. We heard a story about you falling asleep. I mean, I'm just saying.
I
Quick,
know.
Raven, go
Hey,
get the
that
product.
that's really real.
But anyways, yeah, those are the three top collectibles that mean something special to me. And when and if we do get Terminator, that's what I've been asking for only 4 years. Terminator and Gargoyles, then I'll be even happier. That's all.
Okay,
Please and
okay,
thank
fair.
you.
Raven, I'm gonna give you that same question.
For me, the one collectible where I've wanted it so bad, didn't think I would ever get it. Was the partner statue.
Okay.
So when that finally came down to a price that I could get it at, that was pretty exciting. I remember even just going back in there a few times to make sure it was still there. Like I couldn't really believe that I had it. So that's one of my favorites. And then like when what comes to one that's being special is Incredible Hulk. I have number 1925 in memory of my grandpa. So that's super special for me. And I find it's so hard to pick. Like I'm even glancing through my collection now, and it's kind of ridiculous. But I really love. What's that?
No, go right ahead.
And I think Self-Made's another one that I find myself looking at.
Okay.
Like, that is really nice. And the one I scroll past through really fast is the battle statue.
Okay. Fair
Just
enough.
because
Fair enough.
there's some hard feelings there.
Fair.
We don't talk about that.
Well, biggest bro, I'm going to change the question for you. What is your definition of a grail, and what is your grail, and do you have it yet?
All right. The definition of a grail to me, it's the collectible that you believe in. That no matter what happens, that you're like, nope, that's the one that's gonna make it through it all. So that's just for me. For me, that grail for me is the partner statue. That's my personal grail. I do not have it yet, but I will achieve that goal. But that's why it's a grail, and that's why it's fun to hunt, right? Like I got there close a couple of times, but it's not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. There's always something else. And then I just buy that, and then I regret my decisions. So, and that's my story of how I have 65 Kings.
You're the top one, right?
That's right. I do hold the number one headband for the Conqueror of Kings.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I have that title. So, until somebody sees this and destroys me. So.
All right. Hinano, what is your grail, my friend? And do you have it yet?
Yes, I do. So for me, I'll just kind of like keep it very simple. It's like comic book style. First appearance, historical keys, and when I mean historical, like launched a universe type of thing. And so my grill on the app is Fantastic Four 1 SR. And how I was able to attain that, shout out to Charlie Fischler. I had to actually trade a grail I had. So I had the 1977 Nicoletta Balderi Return of the Jedi. But I saw that SR on the floor. I probably could have gotten it cheaper now if I waited, but like at the time I wanted it, and I'm like, ah. So I traded that grail, sold it to Charlie. I got the funds. I was able to purchase that SR. And that's it for me. Like I'm not a Disney person, so partner's not really my thing. And this question has been asked me before. Like, if you had the one grail where you could walk away from the app, I have it. I walked away. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to hold on to it. First family, it kicked off the MCU, kicked off so many of our favorite characters, from Black Panther to Silver Surfer to Galactus, and you can name them all, and they're still killing it till this day. So that is my grail. Fantastic Four has been one of my favorites from when I was a kid, and I got it. Let's go.
Yeah,
And I love it.
and shout out to Charlie Fisher as well. He is a pioneer in special mint collecting. He's a very wholesome, biblical Canadian man as well. Really, really nice guy.
He got me. He got lucky. He got me. Because I every day I look at that, I'm like, man, I got rid of something cool, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, and you can say if it's with someone he adores that piece. So again, the happiness you would have give that way as well is a great thing.
And I want to touch on that because there's a lot of collectors that's come to me in the past, and I'm one of those guys. If I have a mint that you want, like Clever Jerk knows this. He's come to me before in the past. I will not upsell anything if I know it's a favorite mint, Fro with his 2099. You also got House of Bane, all these other guys, or even Guri with his 415. If I get a mint that I know someone likes, I'll message them actually, like, yo, I got this, whatever you want to offer. And I never upsell anything. I never even like gouge at an offer. I'll take whatever a collector gives me, because in the end, it's like, if I can give them the special mint, and I make out of it a little bit, that's cool. Or you know what I mean? If that really makes that person happy, that's cool. You know what I mean? And so yeah, if I ever have a special mint, and I know Daniel, you've reached out to me before in the past because everyone pocket watches around here. um, yeah, and I'm willing to get rid of it. Please hit me up.
That's awesome. And yeah, there's some great collectors. So Charlie has done the same thing for me as well as Callie. So, but Charlie is awesome. And I was sharing with Raven when I went to Decon by myself. Charlie, I sat down with Charlie and just had a great conversation. Just a very warm guy. You know, just felt like I've known him forever. And that's just the beauty of the VV community, right?
Yeah.
So, but Daniel, now I got to ask you that question because now you've acquired quite a few grails in your hunting days. So what is your grill and do you have it yet?
Well, yeah, going back to the biggest bros point, it's the ones that are more personal to you, like the 2015 Marty's hoverboard, which if you're a Back to the Future 2 fan, that's the year that board come out in the movies. So I've got that and the 89 on that board, and that they're in my forever collection. And then comics, and again, I managed to do this with Charlie, which was pretty cool. I've got the 2021 mint of Marvel Comics 1, which is actually, I think, the only digital comic VV have got where they actually stamp 2021 in the comic as well. Being as the first one Marvel dropped digitally. So I think them two are they're my ride or dies.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I love it. And you guys know, I mean, I do like to hunt special mints as well. So it would be hard to kind of choose because I'm a huge Iron Man fan. So Iron Man is like my personal grill, right? So having a 63 Iron Man is super important to me. The most exciting hunt of one of my girls would be my partner statue 1971 because it took some research, being on different platforms, negotiating. I mean, it took me a while to find it and acquire it. So I would say that that's probably one of those things as far as the excitement of the hunt, because I really do enjoy it. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough to add some additional ones to my collection as well. But those two are my favorites. But as far as comics, shout out to Callie and to Charlie Fisher, because thanks to them, I have first public mint to the Avengers. I have the last mint to the Avengers, and then I have the 1922 SR to the Avengers, number
Nice.
one. So I would say that is kind of like my trifecta as far as like comics and what I have. I mean, AF-15 is awesome in that, but for me, those three will stay in my collection unless you know, something happens I need to sell them. I'm just gonna sell them back to Callie and Charlie. So we'll keep it in the family, right? That's usually how it happens.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, kind of jumping into a different subject in regards to kind of like the future of collecting. I'm just going to start with you, big bro. What would you like to see happen in the collecting space as far as next steps to bring more people into, you know, digital collecting?
I think we have to lean more into AR. I think leaning into AR in more social situations is the way to go. I think pairing up with these glasses and all the different things like the new Vision Pros and putting your collectibles in your real time environment, I think that's the way it needs to go. Um, I think that's where we're gonna have these things like, well, this is why I need this Spider-Man. Only a certain amount of people are gonna have a Spider-Man to put this out there, you know what I mean? So I think that's where it is. And then driving all with different experiences too, right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Next up, Dee, what about you?
Um, I do agree with Big Bro. I believe to grow the space and the future of the space, I would like to see a lot more cross collaboration between different projects because we all are, most of us from the BB community are in a lot of other projects together. So I would like to see some kind of like collaboration between VB and others, because not everything has to be like a, you know, competition kind of thing where you got to collect only on this platform. If you collect on other platforms, you're like not with us anymore, or some, whatever the talk is. So I would like to see more, yeah, cross collaboration, more, yeah, in real life events between different communities, um, because in the end, I think we all just want to like have a place to where we can talk about our fandoms, talk about our collecting journeys with each other, because we all kind of have similar stories and some are different, but that's how we all kind of, we can all learn from each other and grow. And that's how we can build up all the spaces, all the different projects, and all the different communities. um, yeah, I'm mainly about trying to get people all together, many different venues, all across the board. Hope that
Excellent.
answers your question.
Yes, it does, and I love it. I love it. Miss Raven, you are next.
For me, I agree with everything everybody else is saying too, but utility. And kind of along the same lines as what Dee was saying about bringing different platforms together. And that's where, to me, like the London police fall into that and are doing such a great job, because I bought the Genesis key, which was ETH from their website, right? And all of a sudden now I have a digital representation of it on VV, and I'm getting airdrops like crazy. And now they're bringing in these coins, and which is going to add more utility. Like that's, I think, if you can bring people in from other areas with that utility, beautiful.
Yeah,
Agreed.
well said.
Agreed.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know if you see, O'Milly has recently done a piece where it was matching the mint on the
Yes.
recent
Mhm.
comic drop and then the collectible. Like that simple thing, granted, is still going to then go in towards a giveaway and give you the chance to hit a giveaway. But it's just that ability to be able to do more, gamify it, give you utility. I think these are just humongous things that I think, again, using Vivi as an example, I think they've done it at times. And yeah, like you said, Raven, London Police, Broadcat, there's certain people that do it, but you really need them to get hold of it and do it more regularly. I think it's a massive, not a massive miss, but just a massive thing they should really be tapping into.
Excellent.
Agreed.
Excellent. And Hanano, my friend, what are your thoughts? What would you like to see?
So I think I would like to see them double down on what they're doing already, which is just enhancing experience. Now I'm going to say this again. There's all these projects out here, right? Vivi, McFarlane, Digitoys, and everyone else I might be forgetting, right? But Vivi has always been good at providing experience. Every single day you turn on X, someone's running a space. Or if you go on YouTube, someone's on YouTube. Or if you go into a Discord, there's a Discord trivia going on, or there's always something going on. They're running promotions in their Discord. They're running these Gleam things. They're doing all these other things, right? Doubling down on that, and then also maybe adding more to that, right? I think what's the issue here is we're just trying to get more people, whether it's from the gaming side. I see what they're doing. I see what MC guys are doing with all these update and new partners are bringing in. I think the RWA market is a compelling thing because I'm a big fan of Phygital. And I can see Vivi maybe doing like TCG and selling Phygitals of that and selling the digital counterpart. And then when you have that tangibility between the two, then you'll attract like real world collectors in here. Something to just trying to get them in here. We already have that $10 program, but really just enhancing that experience. Maybe that Vivi versus Apple show up one day, and then we can enhance the experience with that. I also agree with Big Bro. AR is going to be a big thing. I really see us, and someone asked me this question, well, where do you see the AR tech going? It's like, well, I see it going to where I can walk around with my Meta glasses. I look behind, and I literally got Mickey Mouse following me, and I can talk to Mickey Mouse, right? Or I can literally talk to your partner statue, right? Or something like that, of that type of sort. I see us like literally like your favorite guy, Tony Stark, whipping our hands in the air and doing all these crazy things, right? That's where I see us going. And I hope they double down on that as well as the experience.
I love it. I love it. And I totally agree with everything that you guys said so far. What about you, Callie? Can't leave you out.
I'm same boat. I think even with just like the buying and the unboxing experience, similar to maybe what Cryptoys do, You know, I don't know how much of a hard of a job it is to do it on every item, but just having that additional engagement when you go and hit a drop and it does some sort of extra special visual. And look, I'm not hard to please. You know, if I can stick on my VR headset, go into a VVverse, and the graphics are like money for nothing from Dire Straits in the 1980s, like sign me up. Like it hasn't got to be, it hasn't got to be that good. But I'm sure all these things will come in time. It's just probably a patience game.
Yeah,
Can I add
agree.
something here? You know, I just thought of a really cool idea. What Fanable did is they started this flash kiosk where they took their old stock and they randomized it, and then you just pull the lever and you never know what you get. Imagine they did that with Vivi, where they took all of their random stock and you pay a certain gem price pool for it. You pull the lever, and then you get to you know what Callie said, you get a really cool unboxing experience, and you never know what you get, right? You really have that blind box experience because they got so much stock now. That'd be a cool thing for them to do.
That's actually a great idea. And I would be all for it.
Someone push that button. Where's the button?
Yeah. I am for the gamble. And Hinano, I just told you I was trying to stop, and you're trying to make me spend more. We all have an addiction and we need to stop. So please stop coming up with ideas to spend more money.
But we acknowledge it, so we're winning.
100%.
It's okay 100%. Then.
Yeah, that's the first step, is admitting we have a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But you know what, myself, I agree with all of you, right? I think that the AR piece is going to be big. You know, for me, you know, obviously I collect on multiple platforms. I do love Elmonex, just like I love VV, as well as the other ones, you know, London Police and that. I look forward to having a digital frame where I can put my, you know, my Starry Night in it. Right. Or you know, my London Police. So for me, I'm excited for that, but also the AR glasses to be able to see it, or for people to come into my space and have it, you know, you know, where they can come in, have their glasses on and see it hanging there, because it's, you know, that location is set in my home. So I'm excited for that, but I'm also excited for utility, as you mentioned, Raven. You know, if you have the partner statue or the collection, maybe you get 10% off or something like that, or like the VB community did with the Club 33, right, where a bunch of people just got together and just started giving discounts, you know, 10% on lawyer fees and that. So I feel like the community has done a great job of taking what VBS created and then spinning off just tons of great ideas and new businesses and new projects that bring people in. And I'm excited for, like you said, the mobile app to bring people in. I'm a huge phygital person. FYI, there's something coming down the line that might kind of take care of what you guys are talking about. Just FYI, just tossing that out there. That someone I know is working on. But I'm excited for that. And as we get further along, I'll definitely share more with you. But you know, for me, I'm excited for the future. I'm big on token gating. You know, I would love, as I mentioned before, to play my Spider-Man, my actual SR Spider-Man in the game, or drive my specific purple Lamborghini in a game, knowing that it's mine, right? You know, or renting out collectibles. So there's so much that you can do with it, right? But also I just love the fact that like each of us has kind of like different things that we love and that we connect with, you know, and everyone's is different, and you share your story and then it becomes more important. But one of the things that I talk about all the time that I really love, so shout out to Millie, that I really love is when you bring in an artist and they talk about the particular piece that they've made and the thought that went in behind it, what it stands for, what it means to them. It just becomes so much more valuable in the collector's eyes because you know the background of how that piece was made, right? And I would love to see more of that, you know, where they come into the spaces and kind of talk about the great artworks that they've made, you know, and what kind of inspired them to do so. Huge fan of Fabrics. Hate that I missed your Fabrics. Biggest bro, I'm jealous because you got a chance to see him, but I love his art as well. I'm trying to get him on the podcast. We're just trying to coordinate so he'll be on, as well as Slider. Shout out to Slider, who's in the comments.
Nice.
You know, but for me, this journey has been one of, came into it, I think many of us came in through Omi or, seeing the collectible, I bought Omi. Now like Omi was kind of like number one, and now Omi's kind of like fallen to like number two or three. Now I'm more on the collectible side, just because it's just a little discouraged, I'll be honest with you, in regards to it. So for me, I see more value in my collectibles right now, even though I do know that Omi has a huge upside. But now I just would rather kind of hold those pieces that are near and dear to me, and the pieces that, I've sold and are able to get back. And those flex pieces. I mean, let's be honest, another reason why we collect is because we want to showcase what we have. Right. So, and I think that that's a big piece of the VV verse, that once we really get it going and able to, as Kelly talked about, that metadata, to walk in and see, oh man, that's meant 1922, or, that's the, first, public edition of Iron Man. Those things are going to be important, as well as if you can token gate and then use that in a different area. So Fortnite, Roblox, those different types of things. I think that if we're able to tie in collectibles to that, shout out to Collect Chain and what they're doing. Dr. Collect, you're awesome. I'm excited for the future of what Collect Chain holds for not only VV but other projects as well. So, for me, I think that we have been in this space for a long time, and it seems like a very, very long time, because crypto time moves a lot faster than normal. So it's like, it seems longer than what it is, but we're so far advanced and in the beginning of where we're at, that 10 years from now, we're going to look back and say, man, we were here for the ride. Like those of us that are still here from the beginning, we are passionate and have conviction. That's the only way that you can stay in this space at this point. I had a great conversation with Eno yesterday, and we were talking about collectibles and talking about a few pieces. And he was like, man, like, what made you pull the trigger and like buy that? I'm like, conviction. Like, it's what I love. I don't care if it goes to zero. It's what I want, what I love, and I see the future in it, right? So I think that that's just something that we all share, and just like VV Anonymous, or Alcoholics Anonymous, or Addictions Anonymous, we all share in the same sickness of VV and collecting on here, and I don't see it stopping. So I'm excited for what the future holds and what Dan and David are doing. Shout out to Dan and David, and and the team, Mr. MC1, in the VV Gold logo group. So, My Collectibles and OMW and Corey, there's just so many great people that have started off as community members and joined the VV team. Very similar to Raven and the Biggest Bro with your team, right? So for me, that's kind of the excitement of the future of things. So
And just going back to the point on utility as well, I'm going to test if Penny Black is going to give us utility, because I was very fortunate to get the 1840 of the original Penny Black stamp. For being a Brit, I thought it just makes sense. But what they don't know is, in a few weeks' time, I'm going to bowl into Stanley Gibbons' office in London, which looks like Gringotts Bank, with my shorts and vest on, sunnies on, slam that NFT on the desk and ask for the utility. So let's see how that goes.
So let's go.
Good luck with that.
Do it live,
please. I want to see it.
Do it live.
Put the meta glasses on, man.
And then we'll be all on the stream saying, okay, who can get to Cali to get him out of jail really quick? Is there any of us that are close?
We're gonna have to phone Oz.
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
So
yeah.
Now, guys, so we've done a lot of talking, and is there anything that you guys want to ask or that you guys want to conversate about while we're on? I mean, this is just a typical conversation anyway, so I just want to open it up as well.
I got a question.
Sure.
How does it feel being content creators? So one of our big things when D and I first started was trying to motivate others to do this type of stuff in the space, whether you wanted to or not. We were always big cheerleaders for that. And so whenever there's someone new that comes out and starts a channel, like when Jan and Collectors Gone Digital started partnering together, I love that. You guys, you got Bill and Zombie, love them. How does it feel? And really let us know that, because like, it's really not easy to really start something like this. Like, I know it looks easy, and once you start going, it's like, oh, it's normal. These guys have been on, but it really is not easy to do off the gate. So how you guys feel? Because you guys had a really long run. I've been loving it, and you guys are on fire.
Right, I'll tell you,
Appreciate it.
I'll go first because I'll keep mine short and sweet. I am. This is not me. I'm not a. I never thought I'd be on YouTube. I'm not a host. I'm barely a co-host stroke wingman. So this is fortunately Dr. Fidgetal is the man with this sort of thing. So he just said, do I want to be part of it? It was a simple yes, because just even doing like the setup and the logistics, I think with everything else I've got on within real life company, DGC and everything else. So I'm a very small minnow in what Dr. Fidget was creating.
You're selling yourself short.
Yeah.
He is absolutely selling himself short, and that is not true. He's such a huge part of what we built here, and I think for us, I'll speak for myself. Like, I actually started this space because so in real life, I work in talent acquisition or recruiting. So I talk to people anyway all day. But I do not like hearing myself speak, and I'm not one for live streaming, to be perfectly honest with you. So I never even came up in like spaces. I might send something in the chat, but there's a project that I'm working on, and I wanted to really start to get some feedback from collectors that are in the community, what they love, what things are important to them, so that as I build out this app, and it's based around what the collectors want and not what we think it should be, right? So that actually started the conversation, and then it just kind of turned into, I love talking to all of the different people, learning about their journeys, but also bringing in not only digital but physical collectors. So like the collector from Cleveland that collects physical sporting or physical sports goods. So I want to bring in multiple different streams and different communities into one, as you talked about, right? How do we grow the space? We bring more people into it and make them aware of what we're doing and the importance of it. And then also to understand the psychology behind it, because, just like people don't understand why we're so passionate about digital collecting, it's the same thing for physical collectors if you're not from that world. Right. It's like, someone may look at it and say, well, that person's just a hoarder if they got like all of that stuff, right? Where there's that attachment, and there's that understanding of, when I was talking to my friend Mikey, the Cleveland collector, and it's like, for him, the joy is not buying that football or that baseball in a shop, is going there and having it signed, the experience of waiting, the experience of the rejection, the experience of getting yelled at, that makes that collectible being signed more important to him. So it's like, I wanted to bring more people into the space, not only from, digital collecting, physical collecting, but then also TCG. I want to get some people from that world, from the gaming world. And then that way it really is like a full circle of everything that we collect, and bringing people into the space, and how VV can connect to a Roblox or a Fortnite, and the same thing with, sports. It can connect to a Fanable, or, people that enjoy Batman can connect to McFarlane, or art with Elmon X. So, for us, that's the reason why it started. And like you said, it's not easy, right? There's a lot of research that goes into it, picking the right platform, having the right people on, asking the right questions, but then also finding what is your voice, right? Because that's what makes a stream good, and what makes a person stand out is you have to find your voice in this community, and to be able to speak to it, because the way that I do things is different than the way that you do it. It's different than the way that Randy does it, and Jan. So, I think that Callie and I have, we have such a good relationship that it's just a general conversation with people that is back and forth. I don't want to be on here where people are like, man, I don't want to go on there. I don't know what they're going to ask me. It's just a real conversation, collector to collector. What's your journey? What's your passion? Absolutely. So I hope that answers your question, Hinano.
It did.
And I would say just to anyone who wants to do anything remotely like this, if you want inspiration, go and look at what TRU Media is doing, without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely.
And the way you just do, like, even when I think one of the first shows I went on was when you guys invited me on, and it's nerve-wracking going to do something like that new, but you set a perfect tempo, perfect environment, and I think, yeah, if someone wants to get into this and inspiration, look at the Oz show and then look at what Omni does in spaces. It's I think no one probably started with the confidence of building something so established, but it just shows you just with some graft and some vision what can be done.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, in the end, and also have fun. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's this wouldn't be cool if we weren't having fun, and that's the one thing. And shout out to our team, because my big problem with me is I have such a big creative vision that sometimes I go for the gusto and I overthink it too much, and I'm like shooting for the moon and we don't have enough gas to get there. So you know what I mean? That's my big problem. I'm like, well, it's right there. Like, well, we
have
don't have gas,
fumes.
you know. So I was like, well,
Burn the fumes.
let's
Yeah.
get some
We'll get
gas,
there.
you know. But yeah, no, I just I really love what you guys are doing, and I love all these creators coming out, because the more creators that come out, whether you're talking about Vivi or another platform, it really legitimizes the space, and we really need to legitimize this space. I'm big on the tech. I'm big on the space. I want to see the space succeed, and so anything we can do to help you guys succeed, because a rising tide lifts all these ships, and once these ships lift together, we lift with the ships, along with everything that we believe in digital collecting. So keep going, guys. And here's a fun tip for you guys: if you go to decons or any comic cons, do not buy a ticket. Go and sign up for a industry pass or a media pass. You'll get and skip the line before anybody else. You guys can do it. Callie can do it. All you need is a landing page to show that you have a website and have some history. You have history, and you can get a pass. Do that.
Oh, I will
superb.
tap into you for that, because I will be dropping my landing page for the app that I'm building, but I have the QR code on the back of my shirt and that. So yeah, because we do plan to go to DCOM this year, my wife and I. So I'll get it. Are you guys going this year
For
as well?
free. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
for free.
We're
Yeah,
all gonna
yeah,
be at
yeah.
that front line, and when they say go in, everybody runs. Remember, bro, we all ran, because I think we wanted to
Yes,
go
we
to the
all
Bear
ran.
Bricks to see who was there, and so you're running with
That
everybody,
was
and you're all
fun.
in the whole thing, right? It's like, so it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You guys will love it, and you get in for free. You just gotta film.
Yeah,
Great.
man, that's
Can
awesome.
I?
Well, we appreciate that. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, can I ask one question as well? I do get a token question on this, which is one benefit of being a co-host. And you've told this story before, Hanano and Dee, but I always love to hear it because it's so nostalgic. But just tell me the story about your VHS shop going there. I don't know if it was when you were dating, but whenever you tell that story, it just takes me
Yeah.
back to my council estate VHS. So
Okay, so he's talking about my LCS. So back in the day, this is in the 90s, guys, when Image first released, you had Spawn, Youngblood, and all that stuff. So those are specialty books that I couldn't get on the spin rack at 7-Eleven or my supermarket, right? Usually you can get like Marvel and DC and all that other cool stuff like 20.99. But for the Image stuff, I had to go to an LCS. My LCS was my old VHS shop. It was called Specialty Videos. And when you walk in that shop, you immediately smell like that old wooden smell, and you had this huge TV. And if you remember back in school, Dr. Visual, you like they used to put these TVs on the wall and wrap them around with like a strap, like a buckle. Yeah, that's exactly what you'd see. And I remember watching My Stepmom Was an Alien on there with Kim Basinger. I walk in there, and tapes are on the left, and then in the corner was all the Image comics, and it was such a cool thing because that's where we hung out. That was our home base. That's where we could be geeks, because if we did that in school, we would get beaten up or teased or anything like that. So that was our sanctum. I really enjoyed that place. They had video games in there. It was the oddest thing. They had the comic books next to the late night folder for the adults. I don't know why they did that, but it was right next to each other, right? Go get your your pre-orders or something else. So
There's something for everybody. That's what it was. They don't
Right.
discriminate.
yeah, and I got one story. I'm so frustrated because Youngblood #1. If you guys remember Youngblood #1, that was the first comic book release by Image. It freaking sold out, and I missed it. I was so upset, and I remember I had to buy the second edition. And if you guys remember, the second edition had the stupid, ugly gold borders that faded, and they're not worth nothing. But I remember I was the only one that had that on my friends. Everyone had the first edition. I was stuck with these, and I still have it just to remind me that I sucked. that day because everyone. So I ended up finally I purchased that. I finally got it off a blind box on Fanable. Shout out to Fanable. I finally got the one book I've always wanted because for me that was a nostalgic book because it really kind of helped me. It really kind of started my collecting journey with Image and Spawn because I own Spawn 1 through I think 58. Collected them because I'm like one of those I want to start collecting a series and stuff like that. So but
Okay.
yeah, see, Callie's got me all going now with that one story, and it can go way farther, but that was the gist.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? And I might have mentioned this before. So in the town that I live, there is actually a VHS and DVD store that remains open. It's not like a nostalgic throwback where they've come back as a bit of a retro. This has been going for 40 odd years. BBC did an article on him, I think, last year, and he's come out and said, I'm the last man standing. And you can go in there and actually buy and hire VHS, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that's cool.
I still
Yeah.
have one. I have a tube TV with a VHS, and we keep it to play the NES because that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
only
The
type of
Duck
TV you
Hunt.
can use Duck Hunt with because of how the technology is back
Yeah.
then with CRT. So
We actually
wow.
brought that out one time we had a garage sale
yeah,
and people were like, "Whoa, you still have that?" And they're like, playing like the Duck Hunt.
it
It's
wasn't for
stupid
sale.
though.
We put a
Yeah, it
little
was
corner
just
for the kids to have an arcade so the parents could stay longer to linger and buy stuff. Right? It was like a little carrot for the
Smart move.
kids.
yeah.
Smart move. And
Anyway.
everyone, just FYI, make sure to like and subscribe to everyone's page. Please smash the like button, subscribe to everyone that is on here. Please, they are super awesome. Just wanted to toss that in there
Thank you.
beforehand. But is there anything, I know that we're over time, is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss before we close out with final remarks from you guys?
Um, See you guys in Vegas. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel and Dr. Frigital, for having us on. Very honored to be on your channel with the rest of our team. So thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching. That's
Yes.
all.
So I'm going to go around for final remarks from each of you, and then we will close out, and we can chat for a few seconds afterwards. I don't want to keep you guys too long.
Yeah.
But biggest bro, we're going to start with you first. Any final words for the audience?
I just want to thank you for inviting us here. Thank you for having us. Final words for the audience. Support all these creators, man. New, old, just support everybody that's putting their hearts out. We're doing like I can speak for most of us. Like we're doing it for the community, for you guys to have a space to come to feel safe, to feel like you can talk about the things you want to talk about, and just have fun, right? Like I don't know, just stuff like yesterday where you're meeting a person, it kind of just fills you with joy. It feels you like that's right. I'm not weird for liking digital collectibles, right? I it's okay to be excited about a digital Spider-Man that we're all geeking out in AR because somebody has a secret rare Spider-Man. You're like, wait, what? You have one? Can I see it in AR? And like you get to see it, and it's small, but like how many times do you get to see an AR if you know about it? You know what I mean? Like not in real life. So, it's cool things like that. So just remember to support all these content creators. We pour our love into it, and then hopefully it helps the people it needs to help and get them, excited about digital collecting. And hopefully we do our part and hope the space grow in the right way. I think we're all here making content because we believe in this space. We believe in the possibilities of what it can get to. So hopefully we're there to help people understand it a little bit better, and then we grow our space.
Sweet.
Excellent,
Nicely said.
excellent. All right, D, you're up.
Yeah, thank you so much once again for having us on. This was really nice to just be the person like answering questions and not so much asking them or worry about ending the live stream on accident or pushing the wrong button. So thank you for not making us do that today. Yeah, it's just been really cool to just hang out with the team, with you both up here, and just having just real conversations, nothing scripted or anything. And I'm looking forward to actually seeing you and talking with you in person the next
Yes.
time that we meet up. So yeah, sorry we didn't get to talk last time, but we'll do so the next time we meet up. Looking forward to that. And
Yes.
when we make it across the pond, Daniel will be coming to meet you as well on one of those London meetups. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, 100%.
And
Yeah,
just
thank you
FYI,
guys.
Video Shane always gives you guys. Last time that we did a stream with him, he absolutely loves you guys.
Oh,
So,
I love Shane.
Oh yeah,
Video
we love
Shane.
Shane.
So, just
Yeah.
FYI, so we'll all hang out when we get to Vegas, and we'll try to get Daniel
Yes.
here. I'll peer pressure him a little bit. We'll see what we
Can
can
I
do.
give a shout out to
I
Video?
can,
Yes.
I'll squeeze
give
into
a
one of
shout out?
Osman's travel, one of his suitcases, because I think he's,
Yes.
yeah, he'll be going again.
Yes.
He needs a container with wheels.
All right,
Yes.
Miss Raven.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for having us on. I really enjoyed this, and thank you to people in the chat. It just kind of made me think. It's been 5 years in this space, and when I started, I was probably the queen lurker. I was always in the background, but supporting every channel. Always showed up at live streams. Like it took me forever just to even type in a chat, and to think I'm here now chatting with you guys is kind of crazy. So I just wanted to encourage those people out there that are watching, and I know everybody has something to say, and just find that there's lots of spaces and shows where it's very welcoming, and I just encourage people to maybe hop up sometime and say hello and share your story, because I'm so glad I did and pushed myself a little bit, and I'm having a blast. So yeah, so thank you to everyone that's always out there supporting us, even if you're not typing. It's cool.
Yeah, shout out to you, Raven. Thank you for saying yes last
Yes.
year.
It works.
It works. Yes, it does work. Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, Hanano, brother.
I guess the one thing I'll leave is whoever's watching right now, you want to do something. Maybe you want to try live streaming the first time, or do a post. Maybe you want to put a post out. Don't be afraid to be bold. Be bold in this space, because at the end of the day, this is a new space. We're all trailblazing. We're all pioneers here. And sometimes you got to be bold. Sometimes you got to take a leap of faith. And sometimes you just got to jump in and just roll with the punches, and just do something like that. You'll be surprised, and have fun while you're doing it. And then also, just to kind of end it, I want to give a shout out to Video Shane, one of our biggest supporters out there. Shout out to the comic guy. Shout out to all of everybody that supports our content and everyone here. I really want to also mimic what the team said in terms of supporting everyone out here, because we're really just putting our all, and we're just putting our passion out here, and we just want this space to succeed. So shout out to everybody watching. We love you all.
Oh, on that note, can I say one last thing? I swear, and then that'll be
Absolutely.
it. I want to give a shout out to also not only my team, but Arcade, because I think without him being in his chat, and he is the biggest wild card out there, love him for it. But in his chat, that's where I felt the most comfortable in typing stuff, and that's how I met Atem, Raven, and Ronnie. Those three that always are vying for that wheel, the spin the wheel, and Big Bro being the biggest rugger out there on that show. So I want to give a big shout out to Arcade, because he also has helped us get more comfortable in just being yourself and just putting it all out there, and like just don't worry about what other people think about you, kind of thing. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, thank you. And Callie, any last words, sir?
Oh, just again, thank you for everything you do, Montel, and yeah, setting it all up and hosting, and just appreciate all you guys taking the time out and having a bit of a chat. And just, I don't know if you'll listen to this stream actually, but there's I think he goes by the name of VV Comic Guy on X, the online comic book guy. But someone I've recently encountered. I don't know how long he's been in the space, but someone I've recently encountered, did a bit of a trade with. But if you're not following him, give him a follow, because really seems like a really humble, nice, enthusiastic VV collector.
Get him on the channel, guys. Super cool guy. Get him on the channel. You guys will love a conversation with him.
Sounds like he's coming on in April. That's what that sounds like, Nano.
Nice. That's awesome.
Well, all right.
Ah.
Well, let me say thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Not only, as a group, but individually, Raven, D, Hanano, the biggest bro, and then obviously my co-host Daniel. We appreciate all of the hard work and content that you've put out, as well as all of the other content creators out there doing a phenomenal job. So please make sure to check Miss Gex and then KCBFW schedule, because they do have a schedule that comes out that kind of goes over all of the different streams throughout the week. So if you are not subscribed to their pages, please make sure that you are, so that you can be in the know of the different streams that are coming up. Shout out to all of the great content creators with the Oasis, with VV Magic, Max, Janie, and Emoji, because it's never a dull moment when you get those four together, as well as, Randy, TRU Media, there's just so many great spaces. I can't even name them all. And huge shout out to my guy, Osman Collects, because he is the only
Yes.
person in this world that can get me up and have me read a comic live. I will never do that again, but I will support you, my friend.
Yeah,
But
nicely done.
we do love you all. Thank you so much. As always, make sure that you collect what you love, connect with the community around you. And we look forward to seeing you for the next round. We are going to be getting Slider on next month as
Nice.
well. We're scheduling for
Woo.
Rolex and trying to get Fabrics on. So if there's anyone else that wants to come up and, jump on the stream and kind of share your journey, we're always open to new collectors, especially if you're a physical collector. So make sure to just drop me a DM or Callie, and we'll gladly get you scheduled. So thank you again for the great week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead of you, and we will see you next stream.
Bye.